This fall, I participated in Digital Literacies, an online graduate course at Adelphi University, as part of my studies to become a New York State certified art teacher. I've always believed that traditional games support learning. When I was trying to help my own kids master basic math facts, I played games like blackjack with them so they could practice addition facts up to 21. Many popular games, like Monopoly, and even counting for hide and seek, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, encourage understanding and memorization of math concepts through participation. But as an education student, I wasn't absolutely certain that games, despite having some learning potential, were appropriate for the classroom. I did some research and found some support in an article on the EDUCAUSE online library called 7 Things You Should Know About Games and Learning. This article shares that games can be highly motivational and engaging for students, and they have the potential to demonstrate, both to students and instructors, that learning can be measured not just by grades but by competencies, as is inherent in a game structure. When gaming activities are designed for teams, they build collaborative skills. Everyone has played games for fun, and bringing those kinds of activities into an academic setting bridges a gap that typically separates games from learning. It also shows that learning is a process of trial and error, of repetition and practice, and of incremental progress towards larger goals. In all of these ways, using games in learning can be as influential for how instructors teach as it is for how students learn. I found more support for bringing games into the classroom from a variety of teaching blogs, TED Talks, articles, and videos. I found that the benefits of bringing games into the classroom include increased student engagement and enthusiasm. Because there are no grades, and games are adaptable to player choices, and they're open to humor, they're fun, and students enjoy playing them. Another benefit is improved social connections. Games provide opportunities for students to work collaboratively towards common goals. Another benefit is that they provide the opportunity for immediate feedback. Because grades aren't part of the games, teachers can provide corrections to students as the game progresses in real time. In addition, teachers can play games with students, allowing for real-time interactions and learning opportunities. And probably most relevant to teachers, games promote information retention. Students challenged to acquire information through games retain and refine that information in order to keep playing. As part of my digital literacy class, I was introduced to James Paul Gee, who is the Mary Lou Fulton Presidential Professor of Literacy Studies at Arizona State University. He also advances this idea that games promote information retention. Here is one of his points.
Doing that is when they are thinking, because they have to get ready to take an action that they want to take, and they want that action to succeed, they think really well. But when you ask them to think about stuff, but there's no action they're going to take, and they don't really care what the outcome is, they think very poorly.
As teachers, we want our students to be thinking really well. Games create active spaces where students have the opportunity to solve complex problems in fun ways. But one element Gee encourages in bringing games to the classroom is the intersection of games and modern technology, video games. And I suck at video games, so that's one thing I can't easily bring into my classroom. But I love games in real life, and I recently discovered one that I think would be great for the classroom. I learned about paper telephone from my local librarian. The game appealed to me immediately because it sounded creative and funny. Here's how the game paper telephone goes. 5 or more players each start with paper and pencil. Each player writes a simple sentence on the top of their paper and then passes their paper on to another player. Each player reads the sentence they have been given and draws an illustration of it underneath the sentence. They fold the paper down so that only the illustration is visible. The written sentence is hidden by their fold, and then passes the paper on to the next player. Each player now looks at the drawing on the paper they have and writes a sentence underneath that drawing that explains it. After writing their sentence, those players fold down their papers so that only the sentence is visible and pass them on. Another round of drawing is repeated, and then it's followed by a final round of writing. At this point, the paper is probably almost full and can be unfolded to reveal the difference between the original sentence and the final, most often hilarious, resulting sentence. Paper Telephone is a game that can help students gain a better understanding of how words and images transfer meaning. It offers a way for self-conscious teenagers to play around with drawing with a minimal need for perfection. With a time and message constraint, drawings become inherently imperfect. An environment that encourages mistakes and experimentation opens students up to the power of creative thinking. Laughing about misinterpretations becomes a way to lead students to critical thinking. Analyzing the silly mistakes they've made in their drawing and writing interpretations provides a ripe opportunity to demonstrate that there are always different perspectives to every subject. Through this game, teachers can model different ways to interpret words and images and ask challenging questions. From an art teacher's perspective, Paper Telephone provides some fun sketching practice and could improve students' understanding of how line, gesture, and symbols can communicate meaning. Even though the drawings are quick and likely stylized, they are drawings and can be analyzed through artistic criteria. From a general teaching perspective, Paper Telephone would improve students' awareness of how easy it is to miscommunicate. Students would better understand that the thoughts in their heads don't automatically transfer to their reader's mind. This heightened awareness of the skill required for careful and accurate communication would lead to improvements in academic writing and other projects, such as PowerPoint presentations and posters. I created a visual reminder to emphasize some of the ideas that you need to keep in mind when considering if games are appropriate for your classroom. In general, I think games are highly effective ways for students to gain new skills in a low anxiety atmosphere. After all, learning is fun.
I got the best one. I got the best one.